What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So this is basically the eve of their earnings. I'm going to go over and give you a good snapshot of where Lucid is at. And one thing that I really noticed today about institutions and what they're doing. So I'm going to go over all the stuff you need to know. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get right to it. So as you can see, currently down 9.19% on the actual technicals. It is starting to break down a little bit, but I'm going to explain what I mean by that in a second. Based on options activity, even though it doesn't really influence their price, it gives you a good snapshot of where people and their mentality is. So for instance, on the eve of their earnings, you do see a lot more puts, insinuating that people are anticipating Lucid to go down or potentially miss on their earnings. So once again, that is kind of what is happening behind the scenes. And when it comes down to what is happening on the dark pool and secondary market, these are all the transactions so far on the secondary market. Secondary market, for the most part, in case you guys don't know, is what typical retail investors do trade on. There was two fairly large transactions, 1.05 million and 1.75 million, but outside of that, it's really gone down quite a lot. And as you can see right here, this is from the 17th, and this is what a typical day does look like. So in general, today is a little bit less buying that's been happening. So like I said, institutions are for the most part taking a step back and most likely buying a lot of actual puts based on this, because all of this volume right here, this is a lot. Each one of these 5-minute candles is almost about $250,000 worth of premium. So it is fair to assume that is not retail presence. That is institutions hedging their bets for the earnings. And then when it comes down to, for instance, the dark pool, these are the transactions today. So very much linked to shorting. So once again, you kind of have to take this with a grain of salt. No substantial, very big transactions for today itself, just a lot of smaller individual ones. But I think clearly this is where shorts have been playing their game at today, at least. So I'll give you a quick update while I'm on there. So Ortex shorts, and right now the short score is currently 82. Utilization is 100%. Shares on loan is going down a little bit, so 204.51 million right now. But keep in mind though, leading into the earnings, there is $1.45 billion worth of shorts. That is just mind-blowingly high. I really hope that in the short term that there's going to be some very good catalysts for Lucid that would cause it to go up. That would ultimately result in a lot of these shorts losing a lot of their money, because in the end, Lucid shorts have been really pushing it down and suppressing it for the most part since the get-go. So it really does suck. But right now, shorts are increasing, 3.24 million shares right now. It is in power hour as well, so 135.99 million shares is in fact being shorted overall. 21.02 is the percentage of the free float being shorted, which in general though has gone down. It was roughly around 25-26%, so it's gone down quite a lot. But still, 21% of the free float, that is a lot of shares being shorted. So in general though, I think right now there's going to be, and like I've been saying, there's going to be good, bad, and the ugly as a result from their earnings. And I did a very thorough, in-depth video yesterday on basically every aspect that you can really expect from the earnings, and I did bring up, like I said in the video, good, bad, and the ugly. So ultimately, we just have to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I do anticipate though, if there is good earnings, anticipate a lot more analysts jumping on board. So hopefully we won't have Adam Jonas being the last one. And I just want to show this to you guys. Adam Jonas is 48% as far as his overall success rate. So in general, a lot of people, and there was a lot of articles about Morgan Stanley and Adam Jonas and their $5 target. I think there was roughly about 3 separate articles just on his rating of Lucid alone. So I think in general, once Lucid does give good guidance, future guidance for 2023, this is where a lot more analysts will jump on board. My own interpretation, I'm not a financial advisor, do your own due diligence at the end of the day. I found it quite interesting though, the 2 analysts that actually do have fairly good ratings, James Pescario, I completely butchered his last name, but he does have a 71% success rating, and this one right here, kind of okay, 57% with Bank of America. Both of them have fairly the highest price targets for Lucid, so $21 and $45. So clearly there is a lot of good upside to be sought out with Lucid. And I think in general, this is why I still continue to do Lucid videos, because I myself do see a lot of good potential with Lucid. Just they've gone gone through a lot of hiccups, and some of which can be very much excused and being blamed for the first year production, so they make some errors. But I think 2023 is going to be the year that they have to have their head down and get straight down to business. So once again, that's just my thoughts on that. But when it comes down to the technicals, what are the technicals saying? So currently down 9.38% now, but on the actual chart, it is below now that 100-day moving average, and it is still technically above that 50-day moving average. So in theory, that's fairly good. It is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band as well. As far as some points to watch for the actual Fibonacci, so you can kind of see right here. So currently 990, so it is in between that P and the S1. So in general, though, that's kind of a good frame point of potentially where things might be going. So if earnings are potentially bad, it might go down to around $7.39, which might be a little bit more of an extreme. But like I said, there's going to be good, bad, and the ugly. And some actual ones that you really need to focus on coming from an investor standpoint is their actual 2023 guidance on how many vehicles they intend on producing, their actual gravity, when that is going to be, and more specifically, the price point. Because if the gravity is, for instance, 160,000, then anticipate the demand just to go straight down, versus I would like to see it around the 110 to 120,000 range, or at least dollar price point. So once again, that could be completely wrong. And finally, the third point to really watch for when it comes down to Lucid is how much cash do they have on hand, and if they're planning on diluting. But of course, there's going to be a lot of different other moving parts and a lot of things said in the actual earnings, so who knows exactly how it's going to go. But one thing I just wanted to also share with you is Stochastic. Stochastic is currently at 26, which is considered very oversold. So potentially this is where there's a lot of opportunity for the earnings, that even though the puts and the technicals are all leaning towards a little bit more of a bearish earnings, if there is a lot of good things said from the earnings and it does go up, then you're going to have a very big value rally as well, because Stochastic is considered very much oversold. Number of retail investors have just been getting out as well ever since the 15th. So I don't know if they're anticipating bad earnings or what their mentality is behind the scenes, but they've been clearly getting out. But again, this is a good snapshot of things that you need to know leading into the earnings. One final thing I just want to share with you, make sure you guys take advantage of this promo. I've been saying this last couple of videos. It's only available until February the 28th. If you just sign up for a basic account, it gets you one free stock. It is free to do so, and that each stock is valued up to $2,000. So just by signing up, you get a chance at a $2,000 stock. It's kind of a no-brainer if you ask me. So take advantage of this promo, link in the description below or also in the comments. If you want to throw $100 at it as well, you get additional 4 free stocks. It's a very easy win-win. But with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the live stream for Lucid earnings tomorrow. It's going to be a very fun ride, and fingers crossed that it's going to be home run earnings. But with all that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.